Have you ever heard the story of Robert Johnson, the famous blues player? Robert Johnson was famous because he was one of the most influential blues players of our generation, of the 20th century. Now, he left Jackson, Mississippi, not able to play a note. Came back 3 years later, a virtuoso. And the legend was that he had sold his soul to the devil, that he had gone down to Meridian, Mississippi, and sold his soul to the devil. And when he came back 3 years later, he could play like nobody else could play. Well, he's not the only one who has had an encounter in Meridian, Mississippi. Myself, I've journeyed to the crossroads at one point. I was down on my luck. I didn't have any money, no prospects. And so I found my way down to Meridian, Mississippi to the Crossroads Cafe. And as I was sitting in a corner booth, listening to Ruby Raven sing on stage, in strolled this gentleman, tall, thin, wearing a vanilla white ice cream suit with hair that was jet black and slicked back against his head. He wore a black tie and he had piercing eyes. He made eye contact with me and he came directly towards me. And he saw that I was shuffling my cards, and he asked me if I was a card player, and when I said yes, he asked if he could sit down. In a gravelly voice, he said, "Hey kid, I see you're a card player. You mind if we have a friendly game?" Now, a friendly game means that no money trades places. And so I said, "Sure, why not?" He said, "Much obliged, kid. What's your name?" I said, "Johnny." He said, "Nice to meet you, Johnny. My name's Lou. Lou Cypher." And so we played a couple of hands of poker, neither one of us gaining an advantage. It was a friendly game after all. But then Lou said, "Hey, Johnny, let's make this more interesting." He said, "I'll bet you that you can't cut to 4 of a kind." I said, "All right, well, what do I get if I can?" And he said, "If you can, you get riches beyond your imagination." I said, "All right, I can imagine pretty good. What if I lose?" He said, "Well, that's a rub. If you lose, I claim your eternal soul as my own." I didn't have very many options, so I said, "Okay, sure. What do I got to lose?" I said, "But you have to grant me this boon. You have to let me cut the cards once, twice, 3 times for each card." Lou thought about it for a minute. He said, "That's fair." So I took the cards and I cut them once, twice, 3 times. And the first card I cut to was a king. Lou said, "That's pretty ambitious, kid." I said, "I'm just getting started, Lou." I took the cards again and I cut again once, twice, 3 times. And the second card I cut to was another king. A second king. I was on a roll, but there was not butter on my pants. Lou said, "That's pretty impressive, kid, but that's only 2 cards. You got to cut to 4 of a kind." I said, "Oh, I know what I got to do, Lou. I'm not done yet." So I took the cards again. I cut again once, twice, 3 times. And the third card I cut to was another king. A bead of sweat started to form on Lou's brow and dripped down his cheek because I had just cut 3 of the 4 of a kind. I took the cards one more time and I cut once, twice, 3 times. And the 4th card I cut to was an ace, not the king. Lou laughed. He said, "Ha ha 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 ha! Johnny, you have lost the bet. You did not cut to that 4th king." I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, Lou. You see, I had your number from the moment you walked in. 6, 6, 6. And the bet wasn't that I could cut to 4 kings. The bet was that I could cut to 4 of a kind. And I've done just that. And that's how Big Daddy Cool bamboozled the devil at the crossroads. That just happened.